The big joke right now on the other side is that one way in and one way out. And if you can't see that that is literally the means of a concentration camp, then I'm not really sure what to say at this point.
I believe that the cruelty is the point, you know. With the Republican Party, they want to hide their misdealings. They want to hide all the money they're stealing from the poor and the working class people.
Hey, it's Jordan with Status Coup.
This is Ashley with Status Coup.
On the ground.
In Philadelphia.
Flint, Michigan. East Palestine, Ohio. Please support the leading independent news outlet on the ground.
Covering what the corporate media covers up.
I ran for Florida State Senate, District 33, and I'm out here today protesting Alligator Auschwitz, making sure that, you know, the government of Florida knows that we're against this type of behavior. We're out here in 100-degree heat, basically, just, you know, doing what we can and causing good trouble to make sure that this place eventually gets shut down. I use that term because I believe that if they're allowed to do whatever they want to do, that's where it's headed. I believe that this will turn into a death camp, and we cannot allow that to happen. So I always use Alligator Auschwitz. You know, they think it's funny, but it's not. Alligator Alcatraz. You know, we cannot allow this type of behavior to go unchecked or unsupervised. We're out here making sure that, you know, we're doing what we can to get these people in a better place and not living in tents in the middle of 100-degree heat. I'm of the belief that the Republican Party needs the headlines to distract from the fact that they're robbing the poor and the working class people. So they do it using immigration as one or LGBTQ issues as another. I believe that, you know, this is just a show that they put on for their base to distract from that fact, and we're out here to make sure that it gets shut down for sure.
Do you see a point where it's shut down? I mean, I know this was an airport originally, which got they protested this airport in the 60s, right? And shut it down?
Yeah, I believe that if we are out here enough and making sure that they know that we're against this type of behavior, I believe we can make progress in getting this place shut down. Absolutely.
Do you have any friends or family? Do you have anybody that you're connected with that has been involved in this, like as far as being detained here?
I'm sure I know somebody personally. I know a lot of people, so I get stories all the time on my Facebook and Instagram about people that are detained here, and you know, I'm here fighting to make sure that they get released and have actual due process and not just thrown in prison, you know, with no due process at all. Yeah.
How does your community feel overall? Like where you're based at? Are you feeling support for this
support
situation?
for the protests?
Support for the protests. Support for this this detainment center.
Yeah, in my community, they are totally against this detainment center. You know, a lot of people have figured out that the Republicans have lied, and it's not just criminals they're arresting. It's regular, everyday people. And they're just throwing them in these internment camps, you know, with no release date. So my community is very against this type of behavior and this type of internment camps, and they're dedicated to seeing it get shut down for sure.
They're naming that they're not criminals in there. Most of the people inside are not criminals. And so to touch the people who did vote in that direction or who are like, oh, this is okay, we're not talking about criminals here. We're talking about human beings, the specific family members, our fathers and sons that we heard that are inside, that are living in inhumane conditions. No matter what political, left, right, up, above, down, below, whatever political ideology that you believe in, at the end of the day, these are human beings.
Support this critically important on-the-ground reporting as a Status Coup member and get great perks. Become a member right here.
I believe that the cruelty is the point, you know. With the Republican Party, they want to hide their misdealings. They want to hide all the money they're stealing from the poor and the working class people.
I am a native Floridian. I'm also a 15-year educator and the child of an immigrant family. I'm here for multiple reasons, not only the atrocities that are being committed against the environment here in the Everglades that are federally protected, so we're violating federal protections. They're siphoning funds from FEMA and other hurricane relief to support this. So when hurricane season is live and active, what will happen to all of his constituents that that voted for him when they lose their homes. The other thing is, the most important thing is how inhumane these conditions are. There have been reports that there are minors here, which was supposed to not be included in this process, and a minor has no control, no autonomy whatsoever being here with their family, on top of just how they're being fed, how they're being treated, just not being met with basic needs like electricity, air conditioning. The heat index right now is about 110, and just not having the protections that they need, on top of just health needs. If there's someone who has chronic illness, they're not receiving the treatment that they need to survive. The big joke right now on the other side is that one way in and one way out. And if you can't see that that is literally the means of a concentration camp, then I'm not really sure what to say at this point.
In your community, are you seeing, what would you say the ratio of support versus dissent is in your community, like locally?
I would say it's mixed, maybe 50-50. So I don't. I think people are congregating towards their own political views, and so it's kind of becoming like these little pockets or vacuums throughout the state.
It's become political. You think it's become more political than
absolutely.
anything else?
Yeah, it feels
especially
like
with the merch. Especially with the merch.
Oh,
right?
absolutely. Like it has become very political, and human rights should not be a political thing. It should be like everyone has the right to live.
On July 2nd, they opened this facility that they're calling Alligator Alcatraz, which is a very ironic name. And it is an Everglades detention camp where they have been rounding up people through ice and detaining them in this facility, which is extremely inhumane in terms of human rights. They have reported only one small meal a day, maggots in the foods, no access to water to bathe, other than from buckets that they haul in from Home Depot, no running water, at least that we've been told thus far. We don't know their access to medical care. They are being extremely restrictive with who they're letting in. So far, they have only let Democratic lawmakers in on a very curated tour where they only were able to look inside the tents for 60 seconds, but were prohibited from speaking to any of the detainees. So we have very little knowledge right now on what the conditions actually are without being able to speak to the detainees. From what I understand, some lawyers have been able to speak to them and their family members, but that has also been limited. Many lawyers have been denied. So we think that this is wrong from a human rights standpoint, and definitely from an environmental one. I'm an environmental advocate and a photographer from Miami, and this is an environmental violation in terms of water pollution, sound, light, air pollution, pretty much on every front. And our governor, Ron DeSantis, is saying that there's zero environmental impact, which is just a lie.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Thank you very much. Can you just give me your name real quick? And I want to comment on your...
I'll tell you why I'm here.
Yeah. I noticed your shirt says "Respect Your Mother." Can you tell me a little more about that?
Yeah, my name is Morgan Anderson, MorganAnderson. I'm wearing this shirt today. It says "Respect Your Mother." It has the earth on it. And I'm here because this, as Donna said, this Everglades detention facility, not only is it a human rights crisis, it is also a crisis in the Everglades. This is a protected environment, and I think we need to be respecting not only the environment and the sanctuary of life that we have here, but also the human lives that are inside it. When I was in 5th grade, we learned about World War II. We learned about Japanese internment camps. We learned about the Holocaust. We learned about enslavement. And we learned that those things were bad. We learned that those were times in our history that we needed to look back on with shame, with regret, and to learn from. I have a 2-year-old son, and when I look back at my life, the story of my life, even when I look back on the story of my day, or when my son asks me, "Mom, when you saw these things happening, what did you do?" I want to be able to tell him I did something, I showed up, I spoke up, I acted, and that's why I'm here today.
U.S. immigration policy continues to rely on displacement, detention centers, jails, and even death as a tool of control. Black immigrants, especially those of Haitians, African countries, are disproportionately detained, deported, and denied basic protection. Many of whom fleeing from countries conditioned, created by, and worsened by U.S. Foreign policies, only to be met by cage, cruelty at the borders. With the expiration of TPS right around the corner, over 500,000 Haitians is rightfully approaching us, right? In the ongoing of asylum seekers, more Black families are being funneled into a system that was never designed to protect us. We are not accidental victims of broken policies. We are intended targets.
Why don't you stay?
Racialized police in our community, Black migrants are 3 times to 6 times more likely to be arrested and referred to ICE rather than a white counterpart. This administration continues to advance a 3-prolonged attack on our people to kick us out by repealing humanitarian programs like TPS, CHNV, and forcing deportation to so-called third countries. Lock us up. Through growing detention numbers, jail, surveillance of our community, and even kidnapping and separating us from our community. They keep us out using travel bans, asylum barrier, militarized borders to keep our people out. And as a member of my community, the Haitian community, and advocate of immigrant justice, I'm here to say we are not backing down.
Not backing down.
We are not fighting just for the release from cages. We are demanding the right to be safe, to be seen, to belong, and we won't stop until every detention center is shut down, every person is free, every community, indigenous, immigrant, Black, Latino, and beyond is honored with dignity and protection with dignity. Thank you very much.